Good evening. Get myself situated here. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services, and it's been a while since we've had, I think I've had one live already this year, so this may be our second or third. I need to go back and check the registry. But if you've been keeping up with me for the first few weeks, here we are, January 21st, according to the YouTube count, I'm plus 103 videos. Let me just verify that count. Plus 105 videos. So I have been busy and having a good time on the series, which started probably mid-December, Pro Piano Chords, going into every different genre of music where I can hear the type of chords that are being used and how they're being placement of particular songs. And what I'm trying to present, or try to find the correct word, just like we try to find the actual correct chord in any kind of a song, is the my opinion that there are no new chords. They're just different placements depending upon what song, be it jazz, be it gospel, be it contemporary songs, be it pop songs. The same chords are interchangeable from all of these songs. It's just what key you're going to put it in and what the placement is. Is it a shortened chord, a longer chord? What is the chord that follows that chord? For those who are the number system users, you know, they have a standard where they start in the 6, go to the 4, go to the 5, go to the 1, and rinse and repeat. Well, I also have that type of, I think I did that with the one with the actual worship chords, well, along with the vocal sounds from SampleTank 4, which is what I'm going to be reviewing tonight. I've been having a ball just with one of the optional voices that comes with that software. So we're going to take a look at that also, and how I'm using it in my current productions and in some future productions. So this is going to be a long one tonight. Who joined us? Sub-Zero, thank you for coming in. Click away. Can you type in my email to get the chord sheets? I was supposed to email you a while ago, but didn't come across the email address. Chord sheets. Not sure if you meant chord sheets or my music workbook, which I still make available. I'll put in my email address. Make sure I got that. Nope, didn't type it correctly. Let me see if I can remove that. Let's take our time and type it in this correctly this time. There we go. Just look at it. Looks like that's the right. That's correct. And yes, in that booklet you will find pages and pages of potentially every chord you can imagine in every key. So you send me that, give me that email, and I will certainly send that directly to you. I've been sharing that workbook or versions of that workbook since the early 2000s. Started with workbook 1 all the way up to, I believe it was 8. I had gotten up as high as 8, maybe 9, because there is a second version of that book that has 2 hand chords. But close to 500,000 downloads during that time period, when I was making it a free download from my, at then, the website that I use. Because my intent has always been not to hide chords from musicians, as they did from me when I was a youngster. Stop playing, or don't show their hands, or in some cases on the organ, push all the drawbars in so I couldn't see that special anointed setting that they had. On the Pro Hammond organ chord series that's coming, you're going to see not just the drawbar settings I use, but in the software it has settings from some of the organ greats in there. So we'll also be featuring some of those settings, not just my favorites, but what has been recorded and which has been placed in the software to hear different sounds that you could get from the organ. And we may just visit some of the videos of those organists. I know Jimmy Smith has a setting in that. I may visit some of his videos and hear what is he doing on the organ with that setting. As I say, I'm in the Pro series mindset right now. That's why tonight we're also going to go over some of the viewer requests that I have out there. I've been sort of putting them on the back shelf, because when I have a mindset to do a series, I try to avoid being sidetracked unless it's a very easy song. Some of the songs require me to go in and listen to them, which means I have to stop thinking so I can concentrate on learning the song and then creating an actual video. So for right now, I will go, I think I've got, let me see how many requests am I behind. Let me just pull them up, because I keep records of every one of them, so we're into the new year now. We've got 1, 2, 3. Well, so those 2 were done. That was done. That was done. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 currently that are requested. And some, let me see, that one I kind of know. That one I kind of know. That one I don't know. They're more traditional. Some are contemporary. So we're going to touch on some of those, just so that I don't let those who don't think it robbery to watch my videos and then leave a comment that I don't care. but I am in a series mode for the first part of this year, and I probably won't be out of this mode till sometime in March. Because for the organ mode, I'm going to do a lot more than I did for the piano. Dishi Moshe, thank you. Are you enjoying Misty? Yeah, I because YouTube has been coming after me on some of the songs I have done. I've had to cut them out of some of the videos, and I understand that that's how they work. It's not a live person. It's an AI algorithm that listens to melody and immediately flags my videos as a copyright infringement. But I find out if I just do chords and let the user think about the melody, I get no problem. So you might see a lot of my videos going in that mode where I'll just do the block chords, because I often do that, just do block chords to sort of confuse the AI. It's only when I do a melody with that chord that I get the notification, sometimes within the hour after the video has been posted. It's a game. And I have fun doing it, because I've learned as a youngster, if I hear the song correctly, I can learn to play it correctly. But if I hear it incorrectly and I learn to play it incorrectly, once I hear it done right, I'm frustrated, because I'm like, why did that musician not play it like the recording or the album? Sometimes you can't copy another musician's style, but the entire piece of the song, if there's a major in this chord and not a minor 6, then that throws off my ears when I hear the real song done correctly. So what I try to do is to be 80% correct, showing 60% of the chords, because I want that musician now to go back to that requested video armed with a framework, a good foundation, maybe 4 or 5 floors of what this song is doing, and then they put on the penthouse, music-wise. That's what I'm looking at doing. It's not, what do they say, if you feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So I want to be about feeding musicians a technique that has served me well all these years, so that they can now not only learn the music that they're asking me for, but they can learn any music that they desire. I'm monitoring two screens, so forgive me. Yes, I have to pick out the melody. That also changes the chord, though. Here's what I'm going to do with the software I have. It has a very beautiful sound patch for vocals, which is why I'm going to introduce later out during the year choir voicing techniques, using software that sounds like a choir, to see, so that I can teach the aspect of how I learned to play songs by learning the choir part first, exactly the way that they're singing it. And you will see that when I do my demonstration. We have 7 in the room right now. I've included my Facebook audience. They are growing. I think I'm over 1,200 new followers on my Facebook site. They're seeing a lot of reels that I actually drop there. Whatever I drop here on YouTube, I also drop there to share with that community. So I'm picking up a lot, at least 4 or 5 new followers on my Facebook page. So if you're watching right now, because I am simulcasting this there, thank you for watching there on the Facebook side. If you want to talk with me, you're welcome to come. I think if you click on the link, it'll bring you to the YouTube page, and you can join the community we have here, and we can converse. Again, I am not a professional teacher or an instructor, but I am a musician who has loved the sound of music his entire life, and longed to learn how to play what I hear. And without the instructional mentor or a teacher to show me, this is how you make a chord, this is how you play a melody, I lost a lot of time in my early years trying to figure it out, until I got into a music class in high school. And there, when I was introduced to all types of music, as an instrumentalist, I transferred that understanding back to the piano, and I began to see high notes, middle notes, bass notes, chord movements, intricate melodies at the top, and that began to open up my understanding as to where all these tones are that I can remember, all that I can hear. Thank you. Click away. Let me just go to my Gmail page. There you are. I don't think anybody will mind if I take a moment and share with a musician who has a desire to grow beyond where they are right now. Now, one thing I will tell you about my workbook is it's very detailed. In one aspect of it, page 8, I believe, it will challenge you to set your own practice schedule if you don't have one. I actually put in there what's a good framework for a practice schedule, and trust me, if you adopt some of what I have in there, you will see yourself getting better every time you sit down to play. That's how I've used that practice. I have to sound better than I did the last time that I played, because that's my own way of actually measuring myself musically. Let me just type in what it says here. Don't mind me singing. That's how I remember notes. Not a singer, but I can remember and correlate notes to me, to my humming. I don't sing. And there you go, it's off. So, and we have how many viewers? 6 viewers watching us. Again, thank you those that are here and those that will be watching the replay. Let's start off with SampleTank. SampleTank is a software by IK Multimedia that I have had access to probably 2006, but I would never use it because, I mean, it was free software. I made purchases of, let me see, I should have one of them here. I've purchased some of their devices. This is the iRig Dual. This allows me to hook to my iPad, to my iPhone, or into my computer, and I can run my actual keyboard into it. It has XLR inputs. Yeah, I'm now doing brands. I'm working on that. XLR, you can adjust the volumes. Let's see. You can plug in the cables that come to plug in your MIDI. So if I want to plug my keyboard into this, I can do that. You have outputs to send it out to an amplifier. What else do we have on this thing? Headphone out, of course. If you want to listen with how I listen to it, it's on my headphones. So it's a multimedia device to help bring in, put it up the correct way, to help bring in the sound. Let me do it like this. I might get a brand deal. I'm trying to help bring in your sound into your what is it called? Call them pocket devices, iPad, iPhone. So with the purchase of this device, they give you free software. SampleTank being one of them. Sonic. There is a bass software that they give you. It's like a thank you for supporting them. So I've pulled up SampleTank on a mini computer that I bought because I wanted to get back into the PC world for creating MIDI files. And I said, what does this thing sound like? You know, it's some sampled voices, but the file was 24 gigabytes. I'm like, 24 gigabytes? What kind of sounds can they put in 24 gigabytes? Well, what have I been missing all these years? And that is, if I bring this up correctly, There we go. That is this software right here, SampleTank. Now I've got the mixed soul voices on here, but when you look at it, you get bass, brass, chromatic, drums, ethnic, guitar, loops, organ, percussion, piano, sound effects, strings, bass. Now they're all coming on. I don't want them all to be on, but I'm just trying to go to them. So I was intrigued by the piano, and I was playing with it, and I saw where it said voices, and I haven't been able to get off of voices since I've been on here. So you've heard the voices in some of my reels or shorts that I put up, because I've been enamored by the fact that this is as close to having live singers to support me. Now I've been using the mixed soul voices because that gives a real earthy sound. But I started with the, let me see, where was it now? Gospel Choir Woa. Let's load it in. And as you can see, the keyboard that they give you gives you the range, which is nice to know that that is where traditionally you will find your vocal range. So let's see, the lowest is why am I not hearing any sound? Because I didn't test it, that's why. All right, let me just go into it and see. Why am I not getting any sound? So why am I not getting it through my keyboard? Give me a second to map this out. Alrighty. I was just using it, so this is not how I wanted to start this. Should I shut it down and restart it? Let's try that. Let's shut it down and bring it back up. Let's reload it back in. All right, let's reset the keyboard. There we go. Keyboard had it messed up. Who's still with us? All right, so we are now in the choir, or the voices, Gospel Choir Woa. Now that is a game changer for me for when I want to do voicing. You can't get um, any nicer sound than having the ability to hear what your songwriting would sound like with a accurate voice. Let's try, I'm sure I'll get flagged on this one. Let me see. Now maybe with the whoa sound or voicing, it's not quite. Let's go to the ooh. What a way to be able to write music, to be able to hear what it would sound like. Now the mixed soul voices has become a favorite of mine. Let's see, pick another song. Now, when you bring in the piano with that, a tremendous software that I never paid attention to until I just decided to try it on another computer that I was recreating for something else, and I have been unable to get away from this software. Now, of course, it's designed, it has 16 tracks, I believe. Let's see if I can do this without losing my place. Where am I? Every time I do this, I always get lost. These are some of the controls that are there. These are for the groove player, which I've got to figure out how that works. These are the filters in which if I wanted to go in and start manipulating what's there. Now I messed this up already, didn't I? Okay, I'm back. So, and that's the soul voices, which has become my favorite go-to, only because Velocity has a way of making it sound different. If I just hit it like that, if I strike the keyboard harder, I get a much stronger voice. Beautiful, beautiful sound. BCO, welcome. Glad you could spend some time with us. So this is, again, this is just, I forgot the this camera here. This is one aspect of what the actual soft world has out there for this generation of musicians. Back in my earlier days, I certainly did not envision this. I did envision, because I was an IBM technician at the age of 17 years old, so I saw computers before they were open up to the actual public. And they demonstrated the ability to play a piano and see the musics appear, the sheet music appear on the page, and I was excited to be on the forefront of that, because I wanted to be into that environment. But I had no idea that technology would take you to the point to where, yes, I'm not a singer, but as you can hear, I can hear the placement of notes. Soprano, alto, tenor. Change my alto. Change my alto, change all three, change my tenor, change all three. Take the tenors down and the alto down, take the all three down and all down again. So I can hear that in my head, and from a sheet music standpoint, create anything I want to do sheet music wise, but I could never duplicate what it would sound like off of paper. Technology, this software, SampleTank 4, has now given me an inroad to provide another type of service for those who do like to write music but can't sing like me. And because this voicing gives me a real natural sounding singer, true to form, but they do give me, oh, this must be about, how many different options of these voices do I have? Just want to count them. Got the gospel choir, hard, string, soprano, long. What are some of the, I've only tried 3 of these, so this is kind of what's a Brazilian sustain? See what that sounds like. All right, so let's see what we can put with that. Okay, let's get a nice drum pattern with that. Brazilian, what is this called? Old Brazilian sustain. Let's get a nice drum pattern we can put with that. That's standard. Well, let's see. Nope, I need something that's going to be more of going through the different kits. I'm looking for something with, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Looking through all the different kits. Again, it's off the keyboard. Trance, chill out, brush kit, analog 19, techno. boy, I'm going to have so much fun with this software, because now my mind is going to be free to write music mind-wise, and if I find something that I like that's cool, as I shared here on this channel, I'll create the sheet music to it, and I'll find drum patterns from my Easy Player 3, which I can actually record, copy down the actual MIDI files and put it into a whole package. So that is Old Brazilian. Let's see what else we got here. Hey shout long. Oh, I did the hey shout. That's strange. Let me see. Where is that at now? It's only hey, 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 hey. That's hey shout. Hey, 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 hey. All right, so if I write a song that's got a hey in it, hey, then they're gonna get my hey. Hey, 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 hey. That again, this is technology. This is technology. What else we got here? O's straighten up, sustain. Okay, the O's are pretty much, they all have the same sound. O falls. Oh. Okay. Oh. 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 All right, I guess I could find a use for that. Let's see. Soul sustain. Forgive me if I'm having a ball here with this software. I haven't forgotten that you're here, which is why I keep talking. Thankful for those who are viewing. There's 11 so far who are viewing. Thank you for indulging with me as I go through the SampleTank for just the voices patch, which I've already been using on some of my productions. So we're looking at the soul sustain. Oh, stop. Oh man, I hear spirituals. Swing low, sweet chariot. Now, I probably would not use that throughout the entire song, but I would use it in parts to sort of give a changeover. If I were to go to the mix soul, Boy, I am going to have a field day. So let's go to a different voice. Let's hear what the bass sounds like. Because I generally use the bass from my keyboard. Let's turn the voices off. Oh goodness, look at all the basses we got. Let's go to the top. Sunburst bass delay. Alright, so already I don't like that sound for what I do now, but let's go to something more familiar. Chorus fretless 1. Alright, let's give a drum beat to go with our bass, because basses they're animals. They need a nice pattern to work with. Let's see. Let's come out here. Just want to bring up a rock patch. Go to there. Let's bring up a modded rock. Let's change that. I know what I want, but that's not it. Nope. Let's slow it down a bit. Here's the notice one. Come on, Sam, you notice. The lowest note, boom. There it is. From the top. Missed that note. Boom. Left hand. All right, little Jackson 5 there. They gotta have a slap bass or a funk bass. Okay, metallic slide. Slap, pull. There we go. What's another one I can do? I gotta think of the songs that have bass, iconic bass runs in it. Oh, what's that song? I need a faster one. Let's see, speed this up. That's too fast. Ah, too fast. I know them. Boom, boom, boom. Having a good time. Let me see. Memory. Boom, boom, an F. F. Yes, I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball. This is what happens when you put music technology in the hands of me. I'm going to find every way to take advantage of it. So that's our bass patterns that are, there's a lot more. Pink jazz, slap. What's the slap sound like? Yeah, I can see myself using this one. I gotta find one that's gonna be gospel. There's gospel bass in here. Finger bass for a shout. What would I want? Finger bass, fat finger amp. No, it's got to be deeper than that. Soft attack fretless, straight to the P. Straight to the P sound like. No, that's not gonna do it. Want to get a gospel shout bass because I got a tremendous bass hand for gospel shout. Slap and pull. Are we just on that? All right, slap and pull. Let's get a good shout pattern. Let's see. Which one gives me? This one. All right, so enough of that. Who joined? Where do I put request? Hey, how you doing, Blockbuster? Try Stephen Nation's Army with that. Stephen Nation's, I'm not familiar with that song, I'm sorry. Do I do Stephen Nation's Army? I'm not familiar with that, if that's a song or the artist. I've been gospel my entire life. I'm just now beginning to expand into a lot of the jazz tunes that I've avoided, because in my early ages as a musician, we were told don't play secular music. God didn't like it. It wasn't later on that I had to accept the fact that God not hated, but put that secular music there so that he can hear those same sounds in the church, which is why you hear a lot of my music is so built on the jazz tones. Because before, I remember what the sound of a hymn book sounded like by the professional musicians in my church, and I felt it was appropriate for that musician who was playing it, but it wasn't appropriate for me. Yes, I could play it like it was in the book, but it sounded so much better when I added sevenths and minor sixes and diminished chords to it. It had a whole different approach, and guess where those sevenths, diminished, and minor sixes came from? The jazz world. So I would have to look up Stephen Nation Army. Sorry, I don't have a reference as to what that music sounds like. So that's the bass sound. There are loops, which I'm assuming are pre-programmed. Okay, hip hop funk. Okay, these are drum loops. Okay, I can go with that. Let's see what hip hop 90 beats per minute sounds like. Oh, it's loading a lot in there. So I'm assuming that when I hit a key, it's going to be triggered. This software, I believe, can be used in a sequencer, in a digital audio workstation, so you could program beats in it. Okay, so these are loops. If I play 3 fingers. I can work with that. So the more notes you hold down to, it's going to loop to those sounds. Okay, that's something I would have to work on. Let's get guitar, because not a guitar player, but if they put something in here that it can help me sound as clean as I possibly can. There's so many. Let's pick the basic ones. Nylon string, 1 finger. Let's see what that sounds like. Do I know the correct finger chording, tuning, I should say, for guitar? Yes, my father tried to make me play guitar once, and because he made me try to learn to play guitar, I did not like it, because I could not get into forming my fingers to get. I had so many chords I wanted to play, I could not get it to sound like a guitar, but I remember the sound of the tuning. 6 strings starting with E. Can you do a jazz song? Can you do a jazz song of the Beatles? Again, you are asking me to go into an area of music that I would listen to very briefly if it was on the television, but it was never became a part. Let me see. I Want to Hold Your Hand, I remember. Let me see. A flat. G7. A flat. I'm doing that 100% from memory. One, I've never played that song before, so I'm hearing in my head what it sounded like in a key that I know is wrong, but because I understand the placement of melodies and the chord selection of a song, I can picture it mind-wise where the chords would be. When you hear me calling out a chord, in my head I'm going, that chord sounded like it would be following this pattern. And in most cases, I was correct. Let me see. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, that just popped in my head. So unfortunately, I am not up on the Beatles, or really on too many. Well, I'll call them secular artists. If I've heard the song in my past, I never had a reason to have to learn it, but I do know that chords are relative. Some chords are the same chords you use in everybody's song. It's just the placement in that particular song. So the string sounds very usable. Let me see, what's the 23 megabyte file, so it's going to give me a good feel. I'm looking to see if they give me any strumming. I see a strummer right here. What is this? Uh-oh, looks like I just lost. Alrighty, so that doesn't like that. Let me see, what did I just lose? The software. Let's pull up smaller steel 2. Okay. So there's going to be some off-the-wall sounds, which, again, put them in their proper place, and there won't be an issue. So that's guitar. Let's see what they did with the organ. Although I have my Hammond B3 organ, so nothing is going to really replace that sound. But you never know. Okay, so they give you different settings, presets, soul, percussion. That looks like something that... Okay, that's a pretty good sound there. What beat can I use? Let's slow that down. Gonna do a little, I think, Jimmy Smith. And let's change the beat. Nope. That's this one. I need more of a shuffle sound. I am impressed. It's the wrong it's the wrong beat though. Let's try a hip hop beat. Right. So they've captured a good sound of a B3. All right. So yeah, I can. They've got a lot of the settings here. Again, I like to change my settings when I'm playing, but this from a software standpoint, they've done. And this is the cheap. This is the, how can I put this? I won't say cheap. It's 24 gigabytes of sound, but it's not their top software. This was the giveaway software. It's like, hey, try this out, and if you want the good stuff, pay the $300 for. Let's see, pipe organ. I love pipe organ sounds. Let's see. And I got that nice reverb in the back. I like that sound. Oh. Hey, Gwen, welcome. I'm testing out SampleTank, well, doing a review, and we're going to go over some of the viewer requests that I have also. And I may just use some of the sounds from here versus going to my regular setup on my keyboard. In fact, let me do that now, because I've had so many of people who have been viewing. I was as high as 11. It's down to 4 now, so I don't want to bore anyone. I'll be going through this, of course, on my own time, looking at all these different voicings that are here. Let's bring back my voices and my choir while we look at some of the viewer requests that are on the docket. Let's see. Father, I stretch my hand to thee by Bishop Carlton, key of F. I'm assuming that's probably traditional, but I am not sure. So let's change our look here. Okay, that's camera here. So this is the lesson page. I think the voices are still up, right? So my voices are still there. And I'll put them with the piano so that I can learn these songs with a little choir in the background. So let me listen to the Father, I Stretch My Hand to Thee by Bishop Carlton. I've got to put you on mute so that YouTube does not pick it up. Be right back. All right, so it is, I won't call it church version, but it is the traditional Father, I Stretch My Hand to Thee. Now, it's a male voice doing it, so. I love the voice sings. So basically the 1 in A flat to the 4 D flat to the 3 with an A flat top. The 6 diminished to flat 6, actually not flat 6, but it's not showing my chords. A flat major, E flat 7, back to your A flat with a little cadence. A flat with a 3, with a 3 bass, a 6, a 3 with a straight C, 7, F minor, those chord names are not showing, and you can walk it down. If with the 5, if thou withdraw thy hands from the okay. I should have been showing the chords there. Let's see why it's not. Chord name was assigned, but it didn't come up. Let me bring that up because that's very important. So I don't have to call out the chord names, but you will see them. There we go. Where were you? Again. Now you see the chord names. I stretch my hands to D, E flat, the. Now I like this bass run. Walk it down. Because you're right there. Get a little bit like the old people. If thou withdraw. Now you go from the minor, you can go to the major and walk it up. Thy hand from the something about having the sound of voices behind a spiritual or a praise song. When you're just listening to it, it turns a musician's inside out. Because now he's hearing the chords he would wish his actual singers could sing. So that is the Father, I Stretch My Hands, to the Carlton Pearson version. I've got to go and turn an alarm off that is ringing in my house or reset it. So I'll be right back. Please forgive me. I have an alarm system that sets itself. So yeah, anytime you sing learning a song that's got roots in the early church, they are on the number system. 1, 2, 1 again, 4, 5, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 7, 6. Stay on the 6, major to the 2. Stay on the 2 with a 7 to the 5. 3, 4, 6, flat to 6, 5, stay in the 5, and go back to the 1. Go with a 7th though. Minor and resolve. All right, yeah, those. I just want to do those voicings again. All right, so let's see who was next. Let's see who was next on the list. That was the Carlton Pearson request. The Windows of Heaven Are Opened by Bishop Brandon Jacobs in the key of D flat. Okay. Let me put you on mute while I pull that one up. Okay, A flat, the key we were just in, traditional. Sunday night song service. So you've got a choir with a pastor that's just basically singing melody. Most tenors will be in A flat or G, A flat, or B flat when they're soloing. It's usually done in B flat church-wise. Again, depends upon the vocal range of the singer. So you've got a lot of unison singing. I love three-part playing. There it is. Because I'm a three-part player, three-part harmony player, I can hear the parts in my head. I know where the scale is. I know where the alternative notes are to make it sound. It's almost like playing jazz. But now musicians are not going to play three-part harmony. As I was listening to those musicians, they got a bass player that is really wailing all over the place. So, but I like to give musicians an actual framework. So you saw the melody, you saw the three-part harmony. If you're going to do it by the number system, you're going to be in the 1. Still in the 1. 5. That chord is that chord is necessary. Walk it up. You turn it around. Still in the 1. The 3. The 4. 4 sharp. The 5. You can go to the 6. But you gotta go to sharp down to get back to the 5. So that is your number system reference. Now, the bass player on this one is wailing. So if you don't have a bass hand yet, you better have a bass player. Let's give this a drum track. Assign me a drum track, thank you. So we can work this with a drum track. I think this one should work. Yeah, let's speed it up. There we go. Look at the left hand. Very basic. I missed it. In the 1. I threw in some other jazz. Back in the E flat to 5. Walk it down. Rock. Bum, 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 bum. Plus. Gotta have a good bass hand to do this. making it up as I go. That is why I'm happy tonight. Stay in the 5. In the 5, stay right there. And walk it down. Dun, dun, bum, 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 bum. Back to the 1. 4 plus, sharp to 4. 5, 3, 6, 6, 2, 5, 1. Dun, bum, 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 bum. That is why I'm happy. That is why I'm happy tonight. I've got joy in the 5. Boom, bum, 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 bum. Stay right there. Plus 6. Dun, dun, dun. And you can bounce. This is the bounce. Alright, so that will get you through this song. It is a Sunday night crowd pleaser song, no matter where you sung it, whatever church you sing it in. It's the only song that talks about tonight. That is why I'm happy tonight. Some folks try to sing it during the daytime and they get crossed up on that one word because it's, again, it has rhymes. Alright, so that is the second of the request. Let's go back to here, and let's see what the third request was. Ooh, okay. Over and Over by the Thompson Community Singers. I have not even looked on that song. I'll leave my vocal up while I pull that up. Over and over and over, keeps on blessing me. I was a fan of the Thompson Community Singers. Again, I learned every song that was presented to me by the music director. Thompson Community Singers. Alright, so let me put you on mute so that I can review it myself. Who joined us? Don't want to miss out on anyone. We have 6 who are still here. Thank you for those who are viewing from the YouTube page, and also from here, and from my Facebook page. Thank you. Forgot YouTube and on Facebook. Let me put you on mute so I can review Over and Over by the Thompson Community Singers. Be right back. All right, Thompson Community singer Milton Brunson. They were the big band sound of church, which is why I enjoyed their songs, because they gave me that. They put me back in the jazz band mode. Oh, oh, and oh. So for the viewer who requested over and over, I'm not gonna itch on my eye all of a sudden. Over and over, key of G is the key it's in, but they're in the big band sound. So you've got to think full, big, fat chords. Now, you don't get that out of your traditional gospel songs. There it is. I think those voices in the background are a little distracting from a teaching standpoint. Let's see, there should be a volume. There it is. They'll be back. Oh, and oh. Turn that off. Oh, and oh, and bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Choir voicing. Or all right. Now there is another part coming up. First seek ye, if I can remember right. I better listen to it. I haven't heard this song since. First seek ye the kingdom of heaven. I believe that's what's coming up. I'm going to go on mute so I can listen to it. All right, so these are not your traditional gospel chords. This is big band. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. And it takes you right back to there. So that is the first C key, Kingdom of Heaven chords. Let me listen to what's coming up next. This is 50, 70, 60% of the song is done. Be right back. All right, goes into a little funk. Slow it down. Bum, da, da, da. Down, bum, bum. Don't worry about that. Hang right there, the rest will fall into place. There's not much left, I think, in the song. As I say, I give the viewer enough so that they had a good foundation in which to go back and pick up all the tricky stuff. If you've got a bass player, you don't have to worry about that on your left hand, but as you can see, as I'm listening to it with my left hand, I'm finding the notes because they're well within the range of where I practice my scales at. Who joined us? All right, so that is Over and Over by the Thompson Community Singers. That is one of our viewer requests. I'll certainly put a post or a comment with those viewers to let them know that I have covered their songs as part of a live and not a separate song. And now the last, or the most recent one that came in is For God So Loved the World, Vanessa Bell Armstrong, in the key of D flat, no modulation. Now, Thomas Whitfield is one of the piano artists that I'm featuring. I believe I did him on, yes, I did him on my Patreon page. If you are a Patreon member, you got the video, full complete lesson on Wrapped Up, Tied Up, Tangled Up. That's what the Patreon members get. They get videos that don't make it to YouTube, because there I get to play the actual song and do the full breakdown. This is a plug for the Patreon page. It's not just the same videos you get here on YouTube, but I pull out the actual recording of the video lesson, along with MIDI files and more information that I can share freely on Patreon site. It's a $5 subscription, but I make sure that you get more than what your money's worth from the Patreon site. That's my plug for that page. So Thomas Whitfield's For God So Loved the World with Vanessa Bell Armstrong. I haven't played that song in decades, because Thomas Whitfield does a masterful job, which means you're going to get a generic chording of that song. I'm not going to try and match his chords on this live, but I'm going to have to listen to it again. So we will be going on mute when I pull it up, because I haven't played that one in years. Alright, so let me put you on mute so that YouTube does not come after me. Going on mute. Okay, brought back memories, and I should bring in my choir in the background, because it starts off with a choir. So let's bring in my choir back in. They're already there. In D flat. Let me change the Chordy app. to D flat. This is good, a good melody practice song. Bring my choir back there. Nope. So of the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish, should diminish perish, diminished chord, but they shall have minor. So that'll get you through that part of the song. Now here's where the lead comes in. Melodies, my memory's coming back. Now they didn't want the key change because it does go up to, that's what the original song does, goes up half a step. So, have, ever, everlasting life. And this turn chord to go into this chord, right here. Turn it again. The lead is singing. I don't know the word. Resolve. The walk up. If you want to stay in this chord, for God so loved the world, you could turn to get here that he gave his only begotten. Soever believeth in him should not perish. Mr. Note. You can turn on this chord if you want. Everlasting. And I think that is going to bring us to a close on tonight's stream. I've covered the tremendous, just change my view here. I've covered the tremendous SampleTank 4 software and the voicings, especially the voice patch that I was just using there for this song, and how it adds to the inspiration that a musician gets. Sometimes when you're playing a song and it's just the instrument that you're playing, piano patch, most musicians like to layer their piano patches with strings and pads, so it sounds like more than just them playing. Me, I like the straight piano sound when I'm playing because I want to hear the substance of every note. But adding those vocal patch in the back from SampleTank gives me an inspiration, as I can hear what artificial voices sound like. Imagine if I could have live vocal sounds. Artificial is not that bad for those who have been watching this stream, listening to it live, and those who will be hearing the replay. I'm using patches from, let's pull up the page if I get it right. There we go. Using sound patches from this SampleTank software. That is the mixed soul voices that I have there. I've done the gospel choir, but this one really gives me a real soulful sound. We'll put it like that. Just with the voices. If I were to play that same song and turn off the piano, if I had a choir. Beautiful. Beautiful sound. And I'll be taking advantage of this software on these settings that I'm doing live, and on the any of these sound productions that I will do. You will hear some of these voicings coming up. I tried the bass and the organ. Again, I like the Hammond B3X organ I have because I can adjust the drawbars on it. But for quick work, I can't see no reason why, using the sampled sounds that is part of this this compilation of music from SampleTank, IK Multimedia. I know I'm not being paid to talk about this software, I've had access to it for years. I never downloaded it because I had my keyboard sounds and the sounds that I've already paid for. So why would I want to use anybody's free sound? It wasn't until I was on the page of the software I had coming to me and I saw the size of the file. I said, wait, that's 24 gigabytes. Hey, there's some got to be some good sounds for that large a file. And now that I have a computer that I have the space for it, it made, they say, a no-brainer. Let's try it out and see what we get. If we don't like it, we can always put it in the trash. So this will stay with me, and I will take advantage of it fully. I want to thank those who have been here. Again, I'm always monitoring the page. I will start from the rear. Gwen Clark, thank you for making it in. Blockbuster, sorry I didn't know any of the Beatles song or the Stephen Nation's Army. This wasn't on my playlist when I was a youngster learning music. BZO, thank you. Clickaway, DB Moshe, and Sub-Zero. Yes, I think those are all who have acknowledged coming in. And of course those who have been in and out. If you dropped out and you came back in, thank you for spending some time with me today, the 21st, on a Sunday evening at 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those who will be watching the replay, you're always welcome to visit any of the videos. I believe my count is over 200, over 2,000. Let me just look at what my count is in videos for YouTube. 2,204 videos, not including this one because it's a live, so that'll take it up to 2,203. I try to make every video that I have, even the earlier ones which had the poorest sound and certainly the poorest video quality, but you got something out of it. I made sure that you saw my hands, you saw the chords. Even in the early days, I used to do the editing and I would write in the name of the chords that I'm playing so that if there was a question, if you didn't see it on my hand, you saw it written in. Thanks to the Chordy app, technology today and software, I no longer have to stop and do that much editing, although I do have some editing desires in my future as I put together some new programming. I have ideas beginning of the year. Of course, I'm getting them all out one at a time. I actually penciled out on my notepad. Let me pull up what I penciled out for 2024. I'm looking at my projects. There we go. Let's see. I've got 6 to-dos already on it. Make single note song videos, shorts, pop-up songs. I don't know what that meant. Make pro chord 4-minute videos. So the pro chord videos that you've been seeing, they've been down to a minute to maybe 2 minutes, depending upon if I can lengthen it. I make them as shorts so that I could bring eyeballs to the channel and let them look at some of the other videos I have. But I also post a longer version of the video that I cut into a short. If the video was a minute and 30 seconds long, like the previous one I did, I'll load the minute and 30-second video as one that you can actually see the full portion of it versus where YouTube cuts it down to 60 seconds. Limit viewer requests to 1 a week. I think I put that on there because I was getting so many last year. Over 300 came in last year, and I was trying to get them out almost the same day. It would take me away from other things I wanted to do musically. So I was trying to now pace myself this year and accept as many viewer requests that come, but not look to get them all out during the same day. As you saw, I was able to get 4 of them out in a good presentation without having 4 separate videos. Begin pop song creations, follow hit songs from YouTube. That's a personal thing for me. I see that there are, and this may be where, let me see. Who had the request about the Beatles songs? I see your question there, Gibbs. How can I know exactly when to transition from natural major minor or seventh or sus4 to? I'm gonna answer that question. Oh, okay, yeah, Blockbuster. Believe it or not, it's on my to-do list for this year is to begin pop song creations. In other words, I want to hear what the popular songs that are getting millions of views sound like and figure out could I have created that song, which means I'll have to upload it to my software, listen to what they did, how they placed the music, how they placed the chords, everything but lyrics and singing, because I can't do that, although now I do have a software that'll give me an artificial voice, so that I can understand what made that song get 1 million+ views from listeners, so that I can understand what goes into that creation. So yes, I got a couple of artists already targeted, because I've been listening to them all year, and I'm actually subscribed to them. When they come out with something new, I go right to the page and I go, okay, 14 million views already for the first day. Let me listen to how it was put together. Let me see, pattern, MIDI and sheet music files. Oh, okay. I want to get back into making my MIDI files. I was using an old Windows computer with Cakewalk software, which gave me the best editing for doing MIDI files, because Pro Tools is good, but Cakewalk was always better. I since then invested in a cheap mini computer, which is more powerful than my old Windows computer, which can't handle the software. It crashes. So I've started that already. Everything is loaded up. In fact, that's how I found the SampleTank when I was uploading a lot of the files that I have in a Mac format for Windows format. I go, oh, let me pull this in, since I don't use it on the Mac. Now, of course, I use it on the Mac. And Pro Tools scrolling for piano for video effects. Okay, yeah, I'm going to work on, because I see a lot of other music creators have a scrolling video file when they're playing sheet music, and I'm trying to figure out how they did that. I got a quick idea. One of them is using Logic Pro, which I did download on my old MacBook computer, a 90-day free version, which I had the old one also loaded with OBS. I wanted to figure out how do they get to play, and when they're playing, you see the notes scrolling across the page. So I believe they are screenshotting just the musical scrolling thing. I'm going to figure that out. That's number 6 on my list, and I'm still on number what am I on? Somewhere. I'm on the Pro series, which means once I get done with the Pro series, then I can get back onto this list for January and start that production. So, Gimmets, you had a question. How can I know exactly when to transition from natural major to minors to major 7th or sus4? I always use food analogies when it comes to music. Got to find the right page. When you listen to another songwriter's song and you don't listen to it to be entertained, but you listen to it to understand, it's a different type of entertainment. What is that songwriter, or what has that songwriter or producer put in that song that sounds differently than anyone else's song? Which is why I stress musicians to learn the major scale, the harmonic minor scale, the first 2 first, and then all the scales that would come after that, because there are many. I think I did do there is I don't remember which video it is without going through it, where I covered many scales, that I found a link that someone had shown all the scales, Hawaiian scale, the Polynesian scale, the Chinese scale. I'm like, wow, I did not know that they were given names, but they gave you a picture of where chords, based upon I'll go with the feel for that musician, why they would place a particular chord in a song. The jazz has its own scale. Jazz uses a minor a minor scale for jazz. Let me turn my voices down. It's nice to know you got a choir that's waiting to sing when you don't need them to. All right, you down. We all know the major scale. And the pentatonic scale. Or that's the correct way of doing the pentatonic scale. The minor scale. What I like is the harmonic minor. One note change is the harmonic minor scale. The jazz or the blues scale. So those three scales you will find are in play when you're hearing gospel music, because someone who was from that genre got an opportunity to work in a studio to help a producer bring life to a song that might sound like a hymn. So when you hear so many songs, you can now look at what you're currently playing and pick and choose what style, what chord phrasing would you want to use. When I play any song, and I've always used Mary Had a Little, oh, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, I've did a whole video on how you can gospelize it, which means picking from the jazz scale. One second. Okay. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. What chording would you put with that? Well, you've got the number system chord. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 again. That gives you the traditional, excuse me, I gotta take this call. I seem to always get a call when I'm busy doing something. 1 second. No big emergency, just my chef. So if you're going to be using the number system, if you're a champion of the number system, then you are limited to those chords. So you are limited to the chords that are in this range. Not a bad idea, because thousands of songs was written within that range. It wasn't until the freelance players began to experiment with all the other notes. Now I went to the minor. Same melody, but I changed the chord structure from major to minor. But now the song changes. Now it sounds like a classical. But you will find a lot of hip-hop songs right in the minor. The hip-hop songs right in that minor. Why? Because the sound is rough, tension. That's what they want out of those songs. So the natural minor and the major are choice. If you want to keep it happy, major. You want to get sad, minor. Let's see, major 7. Now the sus, which is just playing the ninth note in the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could keep going. 8, 9. I believe it says sus. There we go. Sus. That's all that is. That is the CCM sound. Trying to find it. So that is the sus sound. If you're, again, listening to what somebody else wrote, let me see, what would use that chord? I give myself away. There it is. There's your sus again. Minor. That's our sus chord, right? So it is what you want to hear, how you want, what you want to hear in the actual song. I often say that the more chords you know, the more colorful you can make a song. I'm guilty of pulling every chord out in a practice mode, and then by the time I'm ready to play any song, I pick and choose which chord structure I want to use, how many chords I want to use, depending upon the song. Now, if you watched a lot of my videos, you will see when I do a hymn, it starts off straight like a hymnal. Then I begin to slowly morph in different tones and different sounds. It's all a demonstration to show it doesn't have to always sound like you're playing it directly out of a book, but you begin to add in all the different influences. Like sometimes you'll hear me call out a Richard Smallwood chord, a Thomas Whitfield chord, a Timothy Wright chord, a Kirk Franklin chord, because these are chords that I've heard them play in their songs. It becomes a way of identifying who they are by the song you hear, and then you can also add those same chords into what you're currently playing. Again, jazz musicians are known by particular runs. When I watch some of the jazz videos of some of the old greats and they're being interviewed, they'll ask them, well, how would this person play this? And they'll sit there and they'll play it like if though that person was playing, because they study the technique, something that they like about it. Now, I'm not a jazz musician, so I fumble through it badly. But I am a great listener of jazz chords and how they are placed in particular songs. I believe I did Misty. I didn't play the melody because I knew I would have gotten a copyright. But I put the chords, I listened to it on a YouTube video to see the placement, what chords I was playing wrong. When I saw the chords I was playing wrong, I made it just block chords. This chord I had wrong. There it is. I had that chord wrong. That chord wrong. This chord wrong. There it is. There it is. So once I saw what I was doing wrong, I can now put together a quick short of block chords in songs that I've used all the time to bring out a different tone. So I'll take the hymn, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. And I'll put those same chords. Holy, holy, holy. There it is. No. Now, gotta think about holy, 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 Lord mighty. Now I'll throw that jazz chord in there. Holy, more jazz chord, jazz chord, jazz. Because I know the chord exists, I know a melody sits on top of chords, so keep the melody there and put the chords on top of it. Let's bring in my choir on Holy Holy with jazz chords. I'll make it up as I go. So it all comes down to how many chords do you have to work with, because the more chords you have and the more understanding of where those chords are they formed in a diminished scale, a major scale, a minor scale, a harmonic minor scale, a jazz scale, and then you pick and choose which one you want to use. So as to your question, how do you know exactly when to transition? It's up to you. Where's the melody line going? Some musicians don't learn the melody, and I've heard other instructors on their sites tell musicians, oh, you don't need to know the melody, just you need to know the number system. And rather than argue with them, I'll go good, because I teach the opposite. You don't need to know the number system until you know where the melody is going. Where is the melody? In the scales. Because guess where your chords come from? The scales. You don't learn the chords first. You learn the scale that builds the chords so that you know why that sounds diminished, why that's a major, why that has a seventh, why that's a major, why that has a seventh chord, and why does it sound like that? Because it's using the flatted seventh of B flat. Once you understand that a seventh chord always has the seventh note flatted, any scale you go into, you'll hear that chord immediately because you will know how it is put together. I know I'm going down to the C minor, but I'm going to C major. To my diminished chord. Why? Because in this diminished chord has these notes in it. The chord I want. There's I knew a chord I wanted to hear, but I wanted to see where would my lowest note be so the chord would be correct. That's the chord. I hope I've given my interpretation of when would you know to add majors or natural majors and minors or sus. It's up to you. If it's your own song. If it's someone else's song, it's still up to you. If I were to pick a song that is not a, let's see, not a hymn. That's a popular song that's not a hymn that I could use that same. I'm running all the songs are running through my head. What key I wanted in A flat. I just did More Than Anything. I had to see what key I'm in so I could find the melody. There's my sus chord. My minor chord. Major. Minor. Major. Minor. Major. B flat with a 7th. Trying to change it up. So I'm in my mind, I'm picturing away from the original chords, but I think it's so low down here, I gotta go higher. I don't have any other examples I could possibly give you. It's just a matter of your application of what you want to use. Learn all the chords, as many as you possibly can. Practice them so that you know what they sound like in every key, and then make a choice. If it's a song that's built upon major notes, throw a minor in there and see what it sounds like. If it doesn't sound good, you'll be the first to know it don't sound good. Or if somebody's listening, they'll tell you that don't sound right, because they probably have heard the song done, no matter what it is, a certain way. But that is the experimentation that that musicians can do, because no one has to hear it in your practice time but you. Hopefully I've answered. That looks a little bit too hot there. Hopefully I've answered your question, Jims. Don't know who's still left, but again, bringing this to a close. Thank you all for spending some time with me. I will lend a link to those song requesters that they can come to this stream. YouTube does put in timestamps for me. I got to figure out how they do it. AI is just about running everything nowadays. But do thank you all for coming in, and I want to have more of these lives. I may use Sunday as a platform, because everyone is off during the week. Hopefully they're done with their church responsibilities and they want to wind down. I think we've had as many as 9 in the no, as many as 11 in the room. That's the most I've ever seen. So I thank you for those who have commented. I must say, my last time I was on the channel, you said a major advice is to practice scales at least 10 minutes. Yes, I could not identify chord numbers until I did just that. Okay. Always want to share the theory of music. I always make the comment that in my early days, no musician wanted to share anything with me, and I kind of took that as a somewhat personal, that they just did not want me to know what they knew. I got some wires on. Just want to make sure that I plug this back in. I don't want to leave it unplugged. So it was an actual commitment. Get that light out of the background. An actual commitment that I made, that if any musician, and back in that day there was no internet. This is before internet days. If any musician were to ask me anything musically, as long as it wasn't disturbing the service, but if they were to say, "Hey, Mr. Sam, Brother Talbert, you on the organ, you on the piano, what was that chord?" Hopefully, number one, I wanted to know the name of the chord, which means I need to know the scale, where the lowest note was, so I can have the name of the chord, and then how I used it based upon the song they heard me play it in. And I would show them, this is the fingering that I use. Now, some may not have the hands large enough to extend out to note 1 to note 8, 9, to note 10. So I know how to teach how to roll your hand so that you can reach that note to get the sound of that chord. Let's see if I can show on this one. 1, 2, 3. Am I still here? 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm still here. Some may not have this reach. It took me a while to get comfortable stretching out to this, because I would hear other musicians play this chord, and I would go, "How do they reach that note?" Because I only practiced playing to here until I learned this reach. Then I said, "Well, gee, what if I wanted to do it up in this key?" Whoa, I don't reach. But then I saw a YouTube video. The guy says, use the sustain pedal, come off these 2 to get that note. So I've been doing that ever since. That I can reach. Oh, my choir is back there without a problem. So you'll always hear this chord full bottom, all from practicing and keep trying to figure out how I can get that chord out there. That's too high. Practicing has to become a way of life for you. If musically you want to get to the point where you could play anything you hear, put sheet music in front of me and I am stumbled, I'd have to sit there and read the single notes and then go back and read the notes underneath, then go back to read the notes underneath, and go to the keyboard and go, okay, that's a C, that's a B, oh G, the treble clef, okay, all cows eat grass, that's a G. That's what I would have to do if I had to read single notes. But play a song, especially a gospel song or a church song, let me hear it. Let me hear it in its natural state, the way it's supposed to be played. Then I can just sit there. Okay, I can sit and deconstruct the song that I'm hearing, find the melody within the scale, find the chording based upon the path of the melody and the chords chosen, find the lowest note, which is the bass, and how all that matches together, and then I will sound like I was on the same production, in giving me time, of course. A few days of practice, had a few more circles zeros past that. I am reaching, and my mother would say, if the Lord says the same this April, the age of 68, and I haven't stopped practicing yet. I haven't stopped learning new approaches to music yet. There is so much I don't know, and I'm having a ball now that I'm retired and have all this technology around me to be able to experiment and to see others who are more skilled at playing different styles of music than I will ever be, but I can still pick up something that I can take to the gospel side and use it there. So be encouraged, number one. As long as you have a breath and mobility of your hands and the discipline to be able to omit every sound around you other than the one you want to hear when you're playing, trust me, you will grow by leaps and bounds. There are musicians. I was watching a presentation, a video on Facebook of a young man playing the Hallelujah chorus in D major on a pipe organ, and I'm sitting there watching the video, listening to him playing those notes, and I'm going, I can't do that. He had to be all of 9 or 10 years old, and I said, I can't even do that. Now, I've played the song, but I've never played it like he did, fluently, straight through the entire song. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, that's what's coming up. Yep, well, that's the change right there. Everybody gets caught on. And I looked and I go, well, that's not me. That's not me. But if I had to learn it, then I would go get to a video that teaches it correctly by the sheet music. I don't think I have Handel's Messiah here anymore. I used to have a copy of it. I don't have it. I had to give it back to the church that had loaned it to me. But I would go through the book. I'd get a copy of the Handel's Messiah and learn it correctly from a piano standpoint, and then commit it to memory, which is what I do. I commit what I learned visually to memory, knowing the placement of the chords upon the melody, and feeling comfortable about the full progression of a song, and then I'll just play it. Right now I have no purpose to learn it, so there's no need. If I were to get a request, oh, can you teach Handel's Messiah? I go, nope, that's not me. That's not me. But if there's any song that's traditional or contemporary, urban contemporary, or of a praise nature of now, that I can actually hear it and hear the placement of the chords, and then show how it's built on this scale based on these chords. Now, if you add a little sauce to it, a little major here, a little minor there, a sus chord there, you can add a little more to it and make it your own version in your own setting. That's what I look to do. Give you that edge as a musician, especially if you're playing in the church. You always want the edge because you don't want the people to come back next time they hear you and you got the same 4 chords. Now you give them nothing to expect. But the minute you add chords 8, 9, and 10 to that same song, they'll look for a reason to come back anytime they know you're going to be playing. And I think I've covered everybody. Again, those who will be watching the replay, I hope that I don't bore you. Going on 2 hours and 44 minutes. I expected to be late today because I wanted to cover the viewer request songs as well as the software that I'm using. I'm looking at it now. I see they've got how many tracks here? 16 tracks. So I could legitimately load up 16 tracks of these voices, import this to my software, and I could have well, I can have drums, I can have vocals, I can have guitar, bass, horns, all off this one software. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm looking. Where are you at? You should be right here. Nope, right here. There we go. These are the tracks. That's my choir that's up here. You see that change? That's where the choir is. These are all the tracks that that are available to me to load on more sound patches. And all these outs, they probably give me outs to all my different spots. Headphones, let's see. Oh, those are locked. Oh, that's why they say it's free. No, wait a minute. I'm curious, where does this out go? Well, that locks it. Like I say, I haven't gone through everything on this software yet. Don't let me mess it up. Take you back here. Okay, I don't want to mess it up. I had to open up the manual to know how to even to do this. I'm like, gee, where's all the voices at? And as you can see, you can purchase all of these other software packages, some of them like $800, to run off of this. And look at this. This is Music for Days. It said Art Deco piano, orchestra percussion, future synths. I may investigate some of these other packages and support, because I do have software from them already. SampleTank SE. Yeah, that's the SampleTank 3. So, again, when I get into software, sometimes I forget what I'm doing. Thank you all. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. As always, I always say, Psalms 101, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Take care now. Be blessed, everyone. Have a good day. Start of your work week. Take care. Bye now.